Great Yorkshire Business on Great Yorkshire Radio.
Well, Steve, out and about at Nottingham, I'm at MRS Training and Rescue. Now, the last time I was here with Billy, we were talking about confined space training, which was absolutely fascinating. Check out that podcast. I'll put the link below this recording today as well. But today we're talking about working at heights. So, Billy, how are you, first of all right?
Yeah, I'm very well, Stephen. Thanks for asking. Are you all right?
I'm good, thank you, on this blooming wet, throwing it down day. So, Billy, tell me a bit about some of the work you do around your working at heights training.
Yeah, well, we already offer working at height training. That's been ongoing for some years, and we have different levels of training that we offer. Obviously, the basic one is actually called basic working at height. It covers things like mobile scaffolds, ladders, working in harnesses and things like that for your general working at height people that do that. Then we move on to something a little bit more risky, if you like, in terms of working on roofs, sloping roofs, wet roofs, and so on, fragile roofs. And we look at the preventative measures and the controls that we can put in place, and showing the guys how to risk assess before they go and do anything like that. And then we offer training for management also. These are the people not necessarily working at height, but actually got legal roles and responsibilities for putting people to work at height. So we offer that also.
Right, okay. But, I drove in today and we were just talking earlier, and you've got some new things being sort of built on site here, because you're moving into the areas of wind turbines.
Yeah. My feet are firmly on the ground, Steve, I can assure you with that. But so we're seeing wind turbines popping up all over the place now, and obviously being in an industry where we've been able to offer high-risk solutions for these type of work, we thought that working at height would be a good one to move into with the expertise that we've got already. What you've seen out there in the car park is our facility for working at height that will have a dual role, so we can use that for as normal working at height, but also the turbine industry working at height, which would be accredited by the GWO, which is the Global Wind Organisation, and once that's accredited and up and running, then we'll be able to offer that kind of training also.
And I know it's a podcast and people can't see this, but you drew some lovely diagrams for me to make it really easy for me to understand. I didn't realise there were so many parts of a wind turbine, really.
Yeah, there's lots of different parts, but in general terms, there's 3 or 4 parts. So you've got the main column that goes from the floor up to the nacelle, which is the main body. So there's a lot of ladder work and platform work getting up there, and we offer a solution for that. There's also the nacelle. This is where the turbine, the rotor and the motor of it all is generated, and the electricity is generated from it. So there's rescue from nacelles, so that we can offer the solutions there also. But then we've also got the hub, which is where the blades are. People do work in the hubs and crawl into the blades to do servicing and maintenance.
They actually crawl into the blades.
So you don't have to crawl into them. Initially, they're that big. We may not look at it, see that from the ground level, but they're that big when you're in a hub that you can actually walk into these blades initially. And then there's obviously the cone. Everybody sees the cone bit, and there is an escape route from the cone as well if need be. So we do offer the ability to be able to rescue out of a cone as well.
Right, and you can be doing that on site when this new piece of equipment is commissioned.
Absolutely, that's the aim of it. It has been dragging on a little bit. We did want it up and running before now, but hopefully by the end of this week that'll get commissioned in terms of its safety aspect, and then we can get the auditors in to come and audit us against the GWO standard, and hopefully before too long then we can start putting that out there.
So you've got the working at heights things, but also within that bit you've got composite trainings that complement that as well, working at heights.
Yeah, the GWO, people working in the turbine industry who have to buy into the GWO accreditation and certification must also receive first aid, firefighting and manual handling as some basic training that's quite specific to working in a turbine, so we offer that as well to supplement the working at height.
Right, okay. And what would that be, Bill? Would that be like first aid training and things like that?
Yeah, we've got first aid, again they're all basic type first aid, firefighting and manual handling is the three main subjects around the working at height.
Right, okay. And Billy, when this piece of equipment is commissioned on site, I mean, it's big. How many people can you get in there at a time?
We've had it designed so that it can take 10 delegates plus a couple of trainers. That's the commissioning part of it, that it was designed to be able to take so many people. And we can have certain elements going off at the same time, so we're not restricted to just climbing a ladder or just working in the cone, for instance. We can, depending on the ratio that we want to put in there, that we'll have different instructors doing different things with the people working on it.
Right, so it's really exciting times again for MRS Training and Rescue then, from just how you've developed over the years.
Yeah, it's been a long journey, but an interesting one. Excuse me. From our humble origins, from working in mines to where we are now in this commercial world, delivering the training that we do.
Right, okay. So have you got any sort of target dates when you hope to go live with this?
We're hoping to go live in January. As far as the GWO section goes, once it's commissioned, hopefully by the end of this week, we can use it. We can use the old facility for general working at height, but it's the accreditation for GWO that we're needing to get over next.
So look, if you're looking for some working at height training, and if you work in the wind turbine industry, do you know what? There's a place here now at Knottingley in the north of England that can actually service you well. So Billy, if people want to get in touch with you and really find out more about how they can develop and get these skills at working at heights, how can they do that?
Well, we've a couple of routes that we could look at. The telephone number, if you want to give us a call direct, is 01977 676700. Alternatively, if you want to drop us an email, you can get us on yorkshire@mrsl.co.uk.
Billy, thanks for joining us today.
Many thanks, Steve. Thank you.
Great Yorkshire Business on Great Yorkshire Radio.